Hi there. I'm gonna try to make this video 22 minutes long, and the moment I reach 22, I'm gonna stop the recording. The thing I want to talk about is the amount of potential you have within you and how much power lies in your control that more often than not you willingly give up. An example of that is, let's say you meet somebody or you talk to someone, and through your interactions, you find that they are affecting you. They affect your energy, your mood, your attitude, and even they make you feel like you need their response for you to react and to feel a certain way. So, an example is you feel a void inside you, and you talk to someone, and you wait for a response, and until they respond, and they respond favorably, you will not feel good. You will continue to feel this vacuum inside you. Now, obviously, that's not the only example where such a thing happens. It could happen even without other people. It could happen in things that you get attached to. For example, when you, wow, I say for example a lot. Anyway, so think about when you binge watch a TV show, your favorite sitcom or any kind of drama, something that's like 4 seasons, and each season is like 20 episodes, each one an hour, and you're empty until you watch it, and the episodes make you feel good, and it goes beyond just entertainment, and it goes beyond just distractions, and it becomes a need, a crutch. Now, hear me out. Sometimes it's okay. It's good that you have some kind of entertainment that takes away the boredom that you feel. You're already bored. You have a difficult job, or you're studying for something difficult, and you've already worked out, so you're allowed that level of entertainment, that level of blowing off some steam. Absolutely fine. However, there's this middle ground, and I hope I'm making sense. I will try to make sense. It's a gray area where you start draining yourself and you feel lesser than. Imagine, if you will, maybe you've dealt with this before, maybe you know somebody who is dealing with it or was dealing with it. Imagine a situation where you look back and you think, God, I was way more than this. I had more creativity. I had more insight. I was able to do this and that. And you say to yourself, I miss the old me, or you miss the way you were, the energy that you felt, the good moods that you had. Maybe you even start feeling nostalgic to things that are not necessarily different from where you are now. However, you are nostalgic to them feelings, to the sensations that you had. Obviously, there's a sense of missing things that are in the past, just because, it's something in the past. It becomes more beautiful than it actually was. And it's also possible that you probably felt the same way back then. However, you were not the same way back then, because right now you are siphoning your essence, I will say, outside of you. So what can you do to break So what can you do to break out of that pattern? I believe there are many things you can do. Among them is to do spontaneous things. For example, and again, I keep saying for example, but examples deliver the points. Uh, Going out for a walk out of nowhere, even if it's like, I don't know, not the right time to go out for a walk, or you decide to get up and clean your room or readjust the furniture, or you decide to read a book that you've never even thought about reading. It's just there sitting, you bought it, never opened it. It could be to find something that just pulls you out or pulls you away from whatever it is that's been siphoning your energy and allowing you the time to close that gap, I will say, that's been siphoning from you. And another thing that I think helps, obviously, awareness, being aware. It's the beginning of treating something that's not going well with you. Anyway, so what else do I want to talk about? Let's get off topic for a minute, because I've been finding myself, and this comes from self-reflection, I've been finding that it's such a human behavior to be difficult on yourself and to set boundaries upon yourself, saying that, no, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that. And all of them, all those barriers and boundaries, they are the work of your own mind. They are not really there. And it's fascinating how it's, in a way, coming from you being defeated or you giving up on even trying. Now, I did say, let's get off topic for a minute, but I'm certain these things are interconnected. So the thing about that, it probably stemmed from seeing no point in doing anything, specifically things that have creativity in them, things that are stemming from something inside of you, the desire to express, the desire to explore and go on adventures and enjoy life and be spontaneous. No, you kept, let's imagine a big square or an infinite square, and you decided to add one cut to it, and then another cut, and then a cut on this side and on this side, until those cuts kept shrinking down your capacity to express, capacity to be you. And those cuts, the narrowing of your persona or yourself, they are not you defining yourself. For example, you decide, you know what, I want to dedicate myself to being a musician, and you focus on that. No, they are out of a need to forfeit. You just forfeit. You gave up. You just have to do your job. You have to go to work. You have to be on time, and you have to abide by rules and laws that have come from your environment that you didn't really agree to, but you have to agree to. You have to abide by them. Otherwise, you will be in trouble, or you will be punished by reliving traumatic experiences that you faced before. You know, if you don't obey the rules, you will be punished in such and such ways. And a very clear example is if you don't do well at work, you might be fired. If you don't attend on time, you will be given a letter a scolding of sorts, even though you're an adult. I think everyone listening is an adult anyway. So those limitations, they have been pushed on you times and times again, and you allowed them to happen, which is okay in of itself. But in you allowing them to happen, you decided not to try again. Actually, I have a good one, okay? Let's say you're the type, or you were the type to be funny. You love saying funny things. You love being kind of sarcastic. However, when you tried that before, people made fun of you. They were not laughing with you. They were laughing at you. And you were like, you know what, that didn't feel good. That stings. It's painful. So you stopped doing that. You tried it once after a few months, and that's it. The desire sometimes comes out of you, even though you've been limiting it, closing on it, and it just like pops out, and then you don't allow it to practice, and you don't nourish it, So there's an example where you find that you are the source who stopped being yourself, or stopped. Here's the thing, it's not you stopped being yourself specifically, because that's too broad of a term. It's that you stopped nourishing your specific tendencies to express. It's like plants in your mind, and you stopped watering them. You replaced them with obedience. You replaced them with fear of getting hurt. Not obviously not physically hurt, but rather hurt of rejection, hurt of being shunned, and the pain of people not liking what you do. Even if you're a rebellious sort, you have to act according with things that are imposed upon you, or otherwise you will be in trouble. Now, I'm not saying be rebellious and throw everything away. No, I'm saying you, by being obedient, you also gave up on being yourself. The two will collide if you keep doing them. And in this collision, beautiful things happen, because when they collide, your persona, your desires, the things you love, they will assert themselves in reality, and you will be like, you know what? I'm cool with you. I'll do my job. I'll do my work. I'll be a good person. I'll abide by the rules, but I'm not going to stop expressing myself, doing the things that I love, etc. And there lies the problem, I think, with you. It's that you, just to say it in a very casual way, you've lost your soul. You've lost the essence, the fire within you. You allowed it to dim down. In allowing it, it's on you that it died down. And I said died, but the thing is, it can be reignited. It can be revitalized. And it's also on you to bring it back. When this happens, not always, but it can happen to you. You probably experienced it before. When you meet someone and they just like awaken a part of you that you forgot existed. Somebody who's full of life, and they are energetic, and they light up the room, and they bring out this dormant side inside of you that you've been suffocating. You haven't allowed it to come out. And in that there's a sense of reactiveness. You don't bring that side of you because you are reacting to the people around you. So that when somebody who is not reactive and they are being themselves and they just like light up and they do what they want to do, they bring out that side of you, and you're like, oh, wow, yes, I wish I want to hang out with this person more. I want to be myself with this person more. The problem with that, this person has become a catalyst to something that has been disconnected inside of you. And they, when they became the catalyst, they ignited it and now it's alive again. The problem with that is that the moment this person goes away, that side of you goes back to being dormant. So what can you do? Here's the thing. And this is the third thing I will connect to the second and first thing, okay? I hope I'm making sense. Okay, the third thing is you need to realize that any rules, any things that you are taught are the way things are, not really are the way the things are. Here's what I mean. So we're just existing. I'm here on a channel on YouTube or a podcast, and you're listening to me on a phone. Nobody made me record this. Nobody made you listen to this. If somebody did, I am grateful to them, but probably nobody is making you listen to this or watch me. You decided to do that. You could decide to do anything you want. You could. There are no set rules. There is no specific path that you have to go down. It's all under your control. And by all, I mean you. What you want, what you desire to do, even your thoughts, even though they are your thoughts, they are not you. Okay? So here's what I mean by that. You think something. After a while, you realize it's wrong. You stop thinking about it, or you change the way you think about it. I used to think, this is not real, but I used to think Xbox is the best platform for video games ever. I got to try the PlayStation. Now I think the PlayStation is the best platform ever. My thoughts changed. I'm still the same person. They are not mine. I could play on PC video games and decide that, no, PC is the best platform ever. And then I go and be like, you know what? I changed my thoughts. It could be about anything. And the reason I'm saying this is because I want you to associate, distinguish between who you are, your identity, and identity is a big deal. It's a big thing. But I want you to realize your identity is not your thoughts, and your thoughts are not you. And you are allowed to learn, to grow, to change, and above all else, you have agency. You have control over what you want to do. And by taking that agency, actually you have it, you don't need to take it, but by activating and you stop being reactive, you do not need a catalyst to awaken the dormant parts of you. You don't need approval or people agreeing with you for you to be yourself. People will laugh. Who cares? They will judge you. Let them judge you. Here's the thing. The only way for you to not be judged is to give up on being yourself. And by that, you become nothing. You're just living. And there's nothing wrong with that if you want to be nothing. Obviously, that's a big word. Let me just clarify. You could decide to live a normal, boring life. And by boring, I mean there's not many stimulus in it. And that's okay. However, I'm talking to you who has parts inside of you that you let go, but they are still parts of you that sometimes you miss. Sometimes you want to reawaken. You want them to arise. I'm quoting a TV show that I love. Anyway, so here's the thing. You have the power to choose And when you choose, when you do that, you don't need approval. You don't need somebody telling you their opinion or what they think. The fact is, you could ask 10 people and all of them will give you different opinions. And the more you ask, the more opinions you seek, the more diluted you become, and the less you know what you should do or what you want, even. There is no should, actually. You shouldn't do anything. You do what you want. Obviously, should do, there are things you should do, but that's being actually technical, which means obviously you should drink more water, you should go to sleep, you should not park your car in the middle of the road, and you should park it somewhere safe. You get my point. But other than that, you shouldn't do anything. You shouldn't work out. You shouldn't do what you want, you know? And by deciding what you should do and deciding to actually stop being reactive, and by breaking those barriers I talked about earlier on, the first thing, the barriers that you yourself set, you reclaim your power and you reawaken yourself, what's inside of you, who you are. Did we reach? Oh, I have 30 seconds left. If you've listened to me this far, I'm grateful. Thank you. It means a lot. What else? Okay, I don't want to mumble on. This is your time and I think it's valuable. I'll try to keep posting quality content and things that add value to you. So thank you for listening and I'll talk to you next time.